Hey everybody, welcome back to the Game Store Guy podcast. I'm your host Kevin, and as you can tell from the music, I'm kind of in a Star Wars mood. I just watched The Mandalorian on Disney Plus, and I gotta say, awesome show. They did a good job of capturing like the feel of the old Star Wars movies. That's a good thing, and I highly recommend everybody watch it. I think you get a free trial. You get a free week trial, so at least check it out. Maybe you'll like it. The other reason I'm into Star Wars because I just started playing Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I got it on PS4, and I gotta say I'm only a couple hours into it, but it is pretty awesome. And I'll give you guys a review when I finish it. But there is one thing I didn't like about it. When you start off, you get to pick your difficulty. And one of the modes, you're basically like a god on there. It's called story mode, and it's like super easy mode. And it's kind of cool. It shows you the amount of damage enemies will do to you, and it's almost nothing. So I don't know who would want to play on story mode, maybe kids or something. But I think I picked not the highest one, but the second from the hardest. I'm going through right now, and it's a really cool game. I'm enjoying it a lot. I can't believe Electronic Arts actually made a good single-player game. And if you're into Star Wars at all, like I am, go pick it up and give it a try. Or I think if you're on PC, do the EA Access, and I think you get it. I think that's what John was planning on doing, and I'm sure John and Michelle will give you guys full reviews of it on VGO. I am digging it so far, and I plan on streaming it later tonight when I'm done doing this podcast. So anybody wants to come watch, check out my YouTube page. It's youtube.com/CCGameCEO. But the game is selling fantastic, and also Pokemon Sword and Shield came out, so I'm having actually a pretty big week at the store, and it's awesome. I love when big games come out, especially like a game like Pokemon. And I know there's some issues people are having with Pokemon. There's something going on. They say in Game Freak lied, and they're reusing animations from the 3DS games, and they're reusing like the models from the old games, but most people don't care, and it's still selling phenomenal. It's a new Pokemon game. It's going to sell like regardless. It's really hard for them to fuck up a Pokemon release, and even if it is a little bit rushed, it's still selling phenomenal. I haven't had a single person like mention that to me in the store, or even talk about that in the store about the controversy going on with it. So it's weird because like things on Twitter seem to be blown up, or even online. Most of the people that probably listen to this podcast are pretty clued into how, the news of the video game industry, and I think we're the minority. I think the majority of people don't pay attention to that, and it's like, ooh, a new Pokemon game, and they're not really looking into it. It's basically a case of the vocal minority just being outraged over something, and it seems for the most part it's getting really good reviews now. Star Wars is getting excellent reviews, and I hope it sells it is selling really well. I hope it continues to sell really well. And also, what's good for me, games like Pokemon and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, like single player games like those, are awesome for me because when people buy them, they trade them in, and they're really good for business. Not only do I like playing single player games, whenever they come out, it's great for business. So I am really liking the trend of the industry making more and more single-player games. And you can tell people like them, and they buy them. Look at how God of War sold, and Spider-Man, and it just goes on and on. I mean, even like Gears of War has a good single-player campaign in it. The new Call of Duty has a great campaign in it. Now, Call of Duties generally don't get traded in right away because people play the multiplayer for a while. I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty, by the way, speaking of that, and I'm kind of mad. I wanted to join the Satans, and I tried to use the Call of Duty app to join, and it would not let me join. The app sucks. So Activision, your app effing sucks. You need to fix it. And now I'm kind of mad because I can't get in the Satans anymore because it's all filled up. So it would have been nice to be able to join, and that fucking app is terrible. So there's really no reason why you even need to use the stupid app Why can't I do that on the PC? Why can't I go to callofduty.com and adjust all that stuff and join a clan through my PC, my web browser? Just stupid. So Activision, get your shit together with your app. It fucking sucks. So once I get this app working, if I ever get it working, I'll just create my own clan, and it'll be my own squad, I should say. It'll be much better than the Satans, and we will be the Satan's arch rivals. So I need to come up with a cool name. It shouldn't be hard to beat the Satans. So, yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to come up with my own squad, and we're going to be the Satan's arch rival. And speaking of things that suck, Stadia is going to be missing all kinds of features at launch. It's so fun. First impressions are critically important, especially for gaming consoles. And Google is not making a good first impression. They are really screwed up this launch. First of all, not everybody's getting the Stadia at launch, even if they bought it the first day it was available for pre-order. So, also, pretty much all the cool features that they were touting aren't going to be available at launch. So, one of them was Stream Connect, State Share, Crowd Play. Those are not available at launch. They are hoping to have them available next year. There's no achievement system. The ability to use Chromecast Ultras will not be available unless you get the Founders Pack. That Chromecast has been updated to be able to do it. So if you already have a Chromecast Ultra, you can't use it. Family sharing is not available at launch. Buddy passes are not available at launch, and that was like the big addition. That was the big thing for the Founders Pack, that you get a buddy pass to give to a friend to try. So I know John and Michelle were thinking about, John was going to give his buddy pass to Michelle so they could both review it. Well, that's not going to happen now. And it's just like, I don't think Google could have screwed this up any worse. And to top it all off, Microsoft xCloud is in beta testing right now, and right now they have like 50 games available for it. And I think Stadia has like 13 or something games at launch, which in none of them are really like big name games. And the other thing about about Microsoft Xbox, the xCloud, having 50 games available, not only that, they announced that Games Pass is going to be included on that. So you'll be able to stream all the Games Pass games. So xCloud is going to just destroy Stadia from the get-go. I don't know who's going to buy Stadia. Like, who's Stadia for? I wouldn't trust Google to invest my money. I wouldn't want to buy a game on Stadia only to have them a couple years from now, when it's not doing well, just close it all down and you lose all that. So I don't know. I still don't think streaming is necessarily what people want, but I do like how xCloud is kind of like, it's in addition to already having a console. It's a feature. It's not like the main thing. It's a feature of the Xbox brand, and I like that idea. That idea is much better, and it's more sound for Microsoft. And I think xCloud is going to kill Stadia. Even PlayStation Now, since they dropped the price to $9.99, there's over 800 games on PlayStation Now, and it actually works pretty good. I did give it a try. It works fairly well. It's not ideal. I do like, if you do a PlayStation 4 games or PlayStation 2 games, you can actually install them onto your system, and that's awesome. But PlayStation 3 games, you can only stream. But if you have a decent connection, even on my crappy internet connection, it did work pretty good. So I think PlayStation Now is probably the closest thing to Netflix for video games that there is at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see going forward. They all kind of have slightly different philosophies on how they're going to handle their streaming. And I think Google Stadia is going to be the third place out of those three. So I know Mr. StadiaPodcast.com is going to be upset to hear that. But I just don't see it happen for Stadia. So last week I talked about Sony having a patent for cartridges. So if you listened last week, you'll know what I'm talking about. But if you haven't, Sony filed a patent for cartridges for the PlayStation 5, and a lot of people are speculating what that means. You know, is the PlayStation 5 going to use cartridges? I don't think it's going to, because it is backwards compatible with the PS4. There are even rumors that it's going to be backwards compatible with the PS3, PS2, PS1, which would be phenomenal for me because I have all that stuff. And I know actually any mom and pop store that sells all the retro stuff, that's going to be awesome if it does. I'm tending to leaning towards it's not going to, because they have their PlayStation Now and they could throw all that stuff on there. But God, that would be awesome. But anyway, so back to cartridges. So they filed this patent, and a lot of people are just speculating it's a way to expand the hard drive space for the PlayStation 5, and that it's going to be proprietary. I can't speak today. Some proprietary solid state drive for the PlayStation 5, and it's going to be basically contained in a cartridge. If you can think about like Xbox 360, especially the slim models, kind of had a cartridge that the hard drive was inside, and it just made it easier to plug them in and out and take your games with you. But what I found interesting, and a lot of people don't remember this, but Sony renewed a patent a little while ago that is basically for the buying and selling of digital games. So what if this cartridge was a way to move your digital game to a physical item, and then, you could copy your game onto this cartridge, take it to a friend's house, and you could move it onto their system. That would be a way to transport digital games. Now, you'd obviously have to be online in order for this whole thing to work. They would have to have some kind of verification system. But the patent is really interesting because here's a quote from it. At a later date, the owner is free to give away, sell, or trade the digital copy to another party in transaction with terms based, for example, the determined value of a digital copy. That right there is buying and selling digital games, which is that's like the holy grail for me. I honestly thought I would be buying and selling physical and digital games by now. So, God, that would be cool. And if this cartridge or whatever is a way to do that, man, I am all on the PlayStation 5 bandwagon for that. So I'm kind of, I'm hoping here, obviously, but wow, would that be cool? And maybe I'm totally off base, and maybe the cartridge just is another, proprietary solid state drive. But what if those two are kind of, go hand in hand? And just a little theory I'm floating out there, and it's probably wishful thinking, but I think it's time. I mean, people need to be able to give away a digital game if they want, or sell it. And I'm all for it. So I think that's about all I got for you guys this week. Let me know what you guys think. Send me some comments on Twitter at CCGameCEO, or send me some messages on YouTube at youtube.com/CCGameCEO. Now I'm going to go play some Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. So I'm out. Thanks everybody for listening.